Right, Hare Krishna, please pray that this works. Madana-gopāla Prabhu, I've just sent you this.
All right.
Haribo.
Hey, Krishna, I'm so sorry.
No,
I had to reinstall it. Something must have gone wrong.
no
But here
worries.
we are.
My heart was like, did it. This is
Oh, okay. We lost quite a few minutes, but I think we get started.
no worries. Hopefully, people will start coming on now as they'll see that you're on. Um, thank you very much, Prabhu. How's things in New Jersey?
It's nice and warm here. It's 80 degrees. Okay,
Oh
so here we
wow.
use Fahrenheit, you know. It's not Celsius, but
Yeah,
it's pretty warm. Yeah.
change of weather here, so lots of people. I'm on.
Is Prabhu on?
Prabhu's on.
Oh, okay.
My wife came running down to give some assistance, but by Krishna's mercy,
Thank
we're
you
on.
so much. Yes.
No, so we'll just wait for a few more people to join, and then we can get started, and hopefully more and more people will join. So welcome, Kitika Mataji, Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining all the way from Eldoret. My mum says it's the best town in the world. It's where she was born. Hare Krishna, Anke. Hare Krishna, everyone else. I'll be introducing our keynote speaker very, very shortly. In the meantime, please do put on the comments anything you would like to get out of this session. The session is Spiritual People Sadhu Sanga. It's the first of a 5-week Kartik series special. Okay, so we have 13 people. Let's just see, give it a few more minutes and then we can go straight into it, Prabhu.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to start by telling my story of how I met Madana-gopāla Prabhu, and then I'll introduce him formally. So, a few weeks ago, Madana-gopāla Prabhu graced us here in the UK and was staying at the Bhakti Manor. First time in the UK, right, Prabhu?
Yes, that was the first time.
And he did this, I guess, a short but sweet japa class on japa, and I listened to it and it absolutely blew my mind, like hit me straight in the heart. It was everything I needed to hear. And then I couldn't stop thinking about the class. And this was on a Thursday. And then Thursday night, Friday, I was thinking about the class and how I can improve my japa. And then Kitika Mataji, who's in Eldoret at the moment, but she spends her time between Eldoret and the UK, a few months back invited me to a house program. And anyhow, I turned up on Friday late because I'm coming from Essex all the way to West London, and there was only one space in the whole in the room. We did it in the house program, and it was right in front of Prabhu. So I sat in front of him and attentively listened. I was just like mesmerized by his katha, and then we just got speaking, and I had the great fortune of dropping him back to the manor, and we had a nice discussion on the way back, and then I've just been listening to his classes and been very, very inspired. So it's all of our great fortune that Madana-gopāla Prabhu has joined us today for our Instagram live. Thank you, Ketika Mataji, for your question. So I'd formally like to welcome Madana-gopāla Prabhu. He's a dedicated servant of Srila Prabhupada, whose Krishna conscious journey began in 1991 at the age of 14 when he joined ISKCON Nairobi. So he received initiation from His Holiness Satguru Goswami Maharaj in 1999 and has since served in numerous leadership, educational and outreach roles. He currently serves as the ISKCON GBC Zonal Supervisor for 5 US temples, co-director of ISKCON Communications for North America, and Assistant Minister for Fund Development. Professionally, he is an IT director at one of the top-tier investment banks in the world. He lives in New Jersey with his wonderful wife, Mansi Ganga Mataji, who is also a very dynamic preacher and a leader. They've raised a 23-year-old son in Krishna consciousness and are living examples of how one can successfully integrate Krishna consciousness in the living world and into a family. Prabhu is especially known for guiding modern devotee families on how to practically apply spiritual wisdom amongst today's very busy and complex lives. So yeah, thank you so much for joining. Maybe we can start by you sharing from your perspective, what does Sadhu Sanga mean?
Yes, well, thank you for your wonderful introduction, and thank you, dear devotees, for joining this session. Yeah, so we use this term a lot, Sadhu Sanga. It's glorified in our scriptures tremendously. You've heard all the quotes, Sadhu Sanga, Sadhu Sanga, Sarva Shastra quote, all the scriptures, not one or two. Every scripture exalts this term, Sadhu Sanga. And it says, Lava Matra Sadhu Sanga Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Just one moment of association with a pure devotee or with a sadhu. Sadhu means excellent. It just means an excellent person. An excellent person means a person who knows the priorities of life, who knows how to navigate the complexities of our current conditional existence and navigate us out of it so that we can be happy. That's a sadhu. Means excellent at that work. You see. So now sadhu sanga. The word sanga, sang means together, and ga means go. We go together. So sadhu sanga means that amount of travel that we do with an excellent person, literally. See, so you spend a minute or 20 minutes or half an hour. When we move together, we spend a little bit of time with them. We get something that we cannot get just by theory, just by reading, which is why, you could just read about yoga and how to do yoga poses and how to stretch and things like that. But people still go to yoga classes. And it's not like a one-time thing. They go like 3 times a week and they do the same poses. But somehow, having a person show them, it makes a big difference. So the sadhu sanga, it's a big difference between theory and practice. And so a person who's good at something, when you spend time with them, it rubs off on us in ways that you can't do simply by speaking or reading. So that's in short the importance. Yeah.
Because we speak a lot about good association, within our movement. And for those that are listening, like I spent years having what, my devotee friends would say, your karmi association, you've got your devotee association. How do we balance like Sangha with sadhus versus Sangha that we may have with, friends that we grew up with or people at work? And
Right.
it's okay to still associate with non-devotees.
Of course, of course. So a lot of the times we confuse the notion of proximity with association. Those are two different things. You see, hanging out, joking, or eating with devotees, that's not the essence. Similarly, being with coworkers or friends who are not devotees doesn't mean we need to share our heart to absorb the world. That's the difference. Sangha means, who do you open your heart to? You want to be friendly with everybody, but our acharyas say don't associate with non-devotees. Does that mean that when I'm waiting for the bus, I can't ask that lady at the bus stop, when's the next bus coming? I can't associate with non-devotees, right? That's not what it means. It means that we don't open the inner heart to someone whose values may not line up with ours, because we know that rubbing off, the dust rubs off on us, and so we become like who we open up our hearts to. That's what Sangha means. Doesn't mean we don't. I've seen devotees who are really expert and they make jokes with their non-devotee friends and the life of the party, and they're really good at it and they're successful in their work, and people can't wait. Oh my God, I can't wait for that guy to come because he's such a good leader. Whatever, but he doesn't open his heart. She doesn't tell her inner feelings and have that affect her or him. So that's the whole point. That we need to understand the key difference here.
I'm going to go straight to the elephant in the room here. So the topic is Sadhu Sangha. And I often get told by my devotee friends that be careful who you associate with outside of ISKCON, especially when you go to India. There are lots of fogey yogis. And recently, someone said to me, well, you devotees of ISKCON, it's not like you're perfect. There is also cheating going on in ISKCON. And I actually took a step back and thought, okay, he's not entirely correct there. I mean, how do we, as devotees in this world, handle such questions, and whilst not causing uparad and protecting what Srila Prabhupada built?
Yes, yes. This is a good question. It's a fair question. It deserves honesty. It deserves honesty and clarity. The truth is that yes, ISKCON has had painful chapters. Some gurus have not lived up to the ideal, and that hurts because it hurts our movement because a guru's role is sacred. It represents Krishna himself, but we must remember the principle. That the principle of guru is pure and eternal. Now, sometimes the person representing it may struggle to uphold that purity. Think of university. The university's mission is to transmit knowledge, right? It's very sound, it's a solid mission. But sometimes an individual professor may act unethically. So we don't reject the university. We don't reject chemistry or physics. We correct the problem and strengthen the accountability. See, so similarly, the principle of Guru Tattva, the spiritual teacher as Krishna's mercy personified, that principle is divinely perfect. The difficulty lies in us conditioned souls trying to give ourselves and live up to that role. That's why Prabhupada emphasized institutional checks and balances, not to minimize the guru, but to protect the sanctity of the system. You see, and so when a guru misuses that faith, it's a great tragedy, no doubt about it. And when spiritual hypocrisy is exposed, whether it's ISKCON or anywhere else, it hurts so much precisely because we expect better. And that pain actually shows how sacred that ideal is to us. So there's a difference between bogus guru and struggling guru. It's a big difference. Bogus guru intentionally misleads others for personal gain, money, power, fame, without genuine sincerity to serve Krishna. Struggling guru may stumble, regrets it, seeks rectification, continues serving humbly. That's human. Even great devotees, they've fallen, they've risen. What defines them is not that they fell, but they return to sincerity. We have many examples. Bilumanga Thakur is one. So we have examples of those as well. So our focus shouldn't be on condemnation, but on discernment. Be smart about discerning, understanding the frailty of the human nature, and not throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Thank you so much. That's really, really helpful. You once mentioned a powerful moment in the sacred town of Dakor that changed how you see Krishna's love. Could you share that story with us, please?
Yeah, that was very powerful. I was about 15 years old. I've been chanting Hare Krishna 16 rounds for like 2 years. Like, I'm a devotee, I'm a solid devotee. I'm chanting 16 rounds for 2 years. So when I go to this sacred, I've never been there before, and I see this beautiful deity of Krishna, I will feel so much love in my heart. So it's a hot afternoon, and somehow I was not feeling that spiritually inspired. So offering my prayers, I saw the deity, very beautiful. And I said, why is my heart not moving? Like, why I should be like so excited, but it feels so dry. And I felt sad about it. Like, I don't think I'm as advanced as I thought. Then I turned around. There's this old lady standing behind me, maybe not even 5 feet, like 4 feet 7 inches or something. Very short, very old. She must be at least 87, 88. And she was trying to peer over my shoulder to look at the deity. Her hands are folded, lots of wrinkles. Her eyes were moist with tears, thick Coke bottle glasses. And she was chanting Hare Krishna, something. It was very sweet. She was chanting Krishna's name. And it's like her whole being had been melted into devotion. I wasn't looking at the deity, I was looking at her. And when I saw her, my heart melted completely within a moment. I started crying. I'm like, thank you, Krishna. And then
Wow.
when I came to see the deity, I saw the deity smiling back at me. And I felt Krishna telling me directly, thank you. I mean, he's telling me, now you know where the sweetness is. Sweetness of Krishna consciousness hides inside the hearts of sincere devotees. So even Krishna says, when I want to taste that love, I have to become a devotee and beg it from other devotees. I come as Mahaprabhu. That's when you don't see many photos of Krishna dancing with tears in his eyes, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always. So
Right.
when we associate devotees and they touch us, their devotion touches us. She didn't say a word. I didn't even know what language it was. Probably an old Gujarati lady. I speak Gujarati. I didn't speak with her, but she taught me so much. This is the power of association. And then I realized that all you need is one moment to feel the love from somebody else, seeing in their eyes, and it transmits faster than COVID. So fast. It's really good. And that's the whole point, you know.
Thank you so much. If someone listening feels disconnected or lonely in their spiritual life, what would you like to say to them tonight?
Yes, yes. That,
Or what steps can they take with regards
yeah,
to Sadhu Sanga association?
sure, sure. Um, if we are feeling spiritually lonely or dry or aloof, even though we want to be devotees, we really do. We're sincere. This, I want Krishna. I made up my mind. I want Krishna. Don't lose heart. Even one sincere devotee friend who's progressive can change the entire trajectory of your spiritual life. Pray to Krishna for such an association because that's actually rare. Krishna listens to that. Krishna listens to your heart when you pray for association. You see, it's okay to pray for specific things if the goal is to love Krishna. And we're asking for specific association that is progressive. We want a devotee who she can give us some guidance or he can give us some inspiration. And someone we can open up to, someone we can trust. Now, those devotees are rare. So we have to be careful who we open up to. Even Rupa Goswami teaches us, be careful who, there's 3 levels. Read about it in Nectar of Instruction. And you can only open up to certain levels of devotees. So don't just open up everybody, otherwise, your confidential stuff will be on Facebook or Instagram, and you'll be heartbroken. This happens. So use the right discernment, but pray to Krishna for association. And you can also be a good association yourself. Be that friend for someone else. You'll find that Krishna will send you many more. So you can pray like that. Krishna is very kind, and he also doesn't take very long. It doesn't take that long to respond. So pray and read deeply and chant deeply. That's what I can suggest.
And can you give us examples, like in your life, like how have you managed, like opening your heart up to devotees, knowing you can do so? There's this term in Gujarati, boro, tu boro cho, or tame bora cho, and I often get that from people. And how can you manage that to protect yourself so you're actually
Yes.
opening your heart and associating with genuine people? Because
Yeah.
ultimately, we are still all human beings.
There's a thin line between pure innocence and foolish gullibility. You understand? That boro je kehne. We say boro. Boro means innocent, but also means gullible. Can be taken for a ride, right? So we are advised to be pure and innocent. Like Lord Shiva is known as Bholenath, but no one can mess with him. He's very strong and powerful. So what I would suggest, the guidebook for devotee association. Read that. It has only 11 verses, very short. It's written by Rupa Goswami. It's called Nectar of Instruction. We distribute it in large numbers. In that book, it gives you the framework of who you can trust to open up to. It does. He tells about Kanishtadikaris and Madhyama and Uttama. So Kanishtadikari is the one who you cannot trust. Yeah. He says you offer them respect from a distance. What does that mean? that means that means even the lowest of the lowest devotees, you be respectful genuinely. But don't let their qualities rub off on you. Yeah, they're devotees. You respect them because they like Krishna. They like the process, they like the movement, they like the rituals. Respect them for that. Like them for that. But does not mean you have to be close to them. You can offer them respect from a distance. How do you know what level they are? Those qualities also given. Yeah, who am I to judge? Well, he's telling us to judge our acharyas. This is a beginning level book. He's saying that if a person who likes to come to Krishna and do the deity worship or other things, but does not know how to treat other devotees nicely, treats them roughly, or talks behind their back, you respect him, but keep your distance. So that's important. That's important. So then you can see these qualities are given, the symptoms are given, so you can look around. Remember, we are always judging whether you like it or not. You get your plate of prasadam and you have like 5 options which circle you're going to sit with. You choose one and you make a genuine decision. Why do you choose that circle and not the other one? You know you're making a decision. You're judging. So you guide your judgment properly by the acharyas. See, find the devotees who are not criticizing. Find the devotees who are genuinely friendly. Find the devotees who are always really nice with other devotees. Never fail in that. And find devotees who are actually progressive. They believe in progress. They're there. I know they're there. I know in UK there's so many such devotees. You know who they are. Find them and open up to them.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
and also improve yourself, you know? If you notice people are offering you respect from a distance, wait a minute, I need to improve myself too, you see? So it goes both ways.
yeah, I mean, look, in my own life, for years I was like trying to get closer and closer to Krishna, and I think the tipping point was associating more with like-minded devotees, and what
Yeah.
that means for me. Like, for those of you that know me, I love having fun. I love chilling with devotees. You've seen the spa Sanga sessions, and so is it okay to be around people that you can just be friends with, and is it okay to potentially, have people we serve with that are, of course, are devotees and we respect them, but we don't necessarily need to chill out with them in our spare time? Because when I was growing up in Krishna consciousness, I felt like I had to be friends with all devotees. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be friendly to all devotees, but you don't have to be friends with all devotees. It's different. They're two different things. You see, especially when you have a big congregation, a big circle of devotees. It's not like there's only 5 devotees in all of UK. There's thousands, right? So your word is very good. It's the concept of like-minded devotees. Find your tribe, because then you can be yourself.
I like that. Find your tribe.
Find your tribe because you can be yourself. Birds of a feather flock together. If your feathers are a certain way, find those whose feathers are that way too. That's important. Um, you know, we all know that how being around certain people just feels right. They bring out the best in you. And that's another way you can find out if your relationship is good. If it brings out the best in you, because we all have good parts and bad parts. And if being with them, you see all the good stuff coming out, that's your tribe.
Yeah, and I
That's
guess
your like-minded. That's how you judge. Yeah.
yeah, and it's okay for devotees not to necessarily get on and clash because we are different people, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's true. You don't have to be pally with everybody. But it's interesting. Yesterday we were discussing this point. It is an offense, Vaishnava Prad, to not be happy when you see another devotee, to not feel happy. Forget about showing it. To not feel happy to see another devotee is a Vaishnava Prad. So even if you're not on good talking terms with somebody, at least you should be happy that they're devotees. At least find something to be happy about and let that happiness be there. But you don't have to talk to them. You don't have to be friends with them. You don't have to work together with them. But be happy that they're devotees. Then you won't do that aparad, that offense. But at the same time, find your tribe, what feels right. Like-minded devotees inspire you to be your best self.
thank you so much. I'm just going to open the floor up to any questions that people may have on this topic. So please put your questions in the comments. We have a question from Tushar Prabhu, all the way from Eldoret. Um, how do we reconcile Krishna's unlimited power and his willingness to be bound by devotion? And what does true surrender look like in daily life beyond ritual and emotions? I think you touched on this in your class yesterday, but yeah, for the benefit of the viewers, if you could touch on it again.
Sure. Yes, it's interesting because Krishna is vastly powerful. He can crush, I mean, when he breathes out, all these universes get created. He can crush a whole universe just like that. What to speak of, the the rich people, political power that people have is so great. Nothing. It's nothing compared to the Lord. So unlimited power. And yet, his willingness to be bound by the devotion of his devotees, like tied up by Mother Yashoda. We do that now. This is the first day of Kartik, just started, right? So we're celebrating this binding of the Lord. Just you can imagine, like if somebody is a prime minister of a country, incredibly powerful, but when they come home and the 4-year-old son wants to play cops and robbers, and the 4-year-old son says, "Okay, I'm going to be the cop, and you're going to be the thief, and I'm going to catch you," and then he has his plastic handcuffs. All right, you thief, you're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. And then he puts on these handcuffs on his dad, who is the prime minister of the country. So okay, now you're going to go in this fake jail, And then the dad has to like, okay, and he pretend the dad loves it so much. He's eager to be put in handcuffs by his son. It's a very natural thing. So when we're trying to reconcile two concepts, philosophical concepts, we have to keep them separate. Then things become easier. What are the two concepts? One is tattva and the other is rasa. Tattva means who is God? Great person who runs everything. That is Vishnu. That's Krishna. That's Nrsimhadev. That's Rama. That's tattva. But rasa means a flavor of exchange of love. You see, the Krishna who plays the flute is different from Nrsimhadev, who is also Krishna, but a different form. So they're two different people. In tattva, they're one. In rasa, they're two different things. So to enjoy rasa, he likes to be bound, but in tattva, nobody can bind him.
Wow, wonderful. So we have a few comments here. So Hiral is asking if we could have a link for yesterday's class. Jyoti, can you put Madana-gopāla Prabhu's website link, and then I'll pin it on the comments so they can navigate through that and then find your classes. Is your YouTube links on your website, Prabhu?
Yeah, on my website, you can put the website there, and it was the first button that gives you links to all of them. You can go to my YouTube channel on there as well, and you can see all the latest classes.
Thank you so much. Sunil Prabhu is asking, in Sadhu Sanga, we often feel uplifted and inspired, but how can we ensure that the association of devotees continues to impact our consciousness even when we return to our regular day-to-day lives?
Yes, yes. This is a great question, you see. How do we ensure that the positive impact of our sadhu sangha remains etched in our heart and affects us? How do we ensure that? Right? Because when we're with them, we feel uplifted. So there's several things we could do. One thing is that we can try to increase the love we have for the sadhus, for the other devotees who are progressive, by appreciating their great qualities in our hearts and expressing them different ways, right? So get maximum association from them. Also, when we serve them in some tangible, meaningful way, then we constantly know thinking, how can I serve this person's mission? This person is working so hard to spread Prabhupada's message. What can I do to assist and increase the momentum of their efforts? Because everybody could use some help. They could use some ideas, they could use some just moral support. Sometimes you can give some financial support. Sometimes you can open up some resources, like you can set up a web page. So many things you could do to help a person. And this way, you're constantly meditating on something. And then when you're with them, try to create a memory that's very intense, an intense memory of love and affection. Because what happens is the intensity is what determines what stays with us. If our excitement is just sort of pastel, it dissolves very quickly. But if it's intense, then that's what's going to show up at the end of your life in that slideshow. People say, my life flashed before me as about to die. That's what happens. Krishna gives us a slideshow of your highlights of your life when you're dying. And what's going to show up on that slideshow is what is your most intense memories. So if your devotional service is not intense and everything else is intense, that's what's going to show up on your slideshow. And then that determines where you go next life. It's not that, in the end of my life, I will focus on Krishna. You can't. You can only focus on that slideshow, which consists of your most intense memories. So build those now, because that's what's going to show up in full HD at the end.
Wow, thank you so much. Can you give us an example from your life where good association has transformed you?
Yes, yes. Of course, this is a great question. I see Trupti Mataji from London. Yes, I met Trupti Mataji. She's very kind to give me a
Trupti
ride.
Mataji is actually my best friend Ankit Prabhu's mum.
She is incredible. I mean, it's such a wonderful conversation with her. In fact, I would even say it's one of the, like you said, transformative. Seeing the sincerity of a devotee, so like Trupti Mataji, it moved my heart. You know, like, wow, this devotee is so serious about Krishna consciousness. So I'll tell you, I get moved when I see even children taking up Krishna consciousness with great intensity. Like 8-year-old, 9-year-old children. I gave a class yesterday in the temple, and this little girl who's maybe 6 years old, she had a notebook. And afterwards, I was coming out, and I said, "Oh, what's this? A cute notebook, with a little Hello Kitty on it. What's in that? Oh, I write my stuff. Can you show me what you wrote?" And she wrote all the key points of my lecture. And she was maybe
Wow.
6 years old. I'm like, wow, what a special soul. What a special soul, this little girl. I was blown away. So I get inspired a lot by young devotees, little children who take up Krishna consciousness seriously. I get inspired by devotees my age who starting out in their 40s or 50s and they're approaching with so much intensity to make up for lost time. I get really inspired by them. And I get inspired by the really elderly devotees who've been serving Krishna for, like 50 years in ISKCON, and they're still humbly serving. So the association with these devotees is very, very powerful. Um, I mean, that's all I can say. Of course, my spiritual master, he gave me a lot of association by his books. My spiritual master, His Holiness Sadhu Maharaj, has written at least 200, 250 books. It's a lot. Many of them are Prabhupada. So we can get through reading as well.
Thank you so much. I know time's getting on, so I want to finish with some wisdom from you with regards to Kartik. For those like me wondering what else can we do in our daily practice to get closer to Krishna, to take advantage. I think you mentioned in your class yesterday, actually, Kartik is really meant, or maybe it was Radha Maharaj at the temple, I can't remember, but someone mentioned yesterday that Kartik is for the
Mm.
non-devotees
Yeah.
to take up the cell, and devotees should carry on as they are. Now, I was a bit like, well, what does that actually mean? Because we're always encouraged to, make a sacrifice or do more. Um, and particularly when we have young children, what can we do as a family, but also how can we, uplift everyone around us?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That was my part of my focus in the class yesterday because Prabhupada wrote a letter about Karthik. And he says, don't get too excited about the sale of Karthik. It's like a sale. It's true. It works. It's real. But he said in the same letter to Jayapatak Maharaj, he says, those are pure devotees. Don't aspire for these concessions. They, out of spontaneous love, try to engage themselves in devotional service 24/7, 365 days a year. In other words, raise yourself in your Krishna conscious practice so high that the benedictions of Karthik pale by comparison. Basically what he's saying. He says, don't get too excited about it. Why is he downplaying this one thing that why this is important to ask ourselves? Why is Prabhupada downplay this? He should be excited about it. He should be like, oh, good, you asked me this question. I was waiting for the day you asked me this question. Let me tell you the glories of Karthik, and you get 10,000 times. He didn't say that. He said it's true, you get 10,000 times, whatever. He said it is true. But I want you to do better than the Karthik customers. In
Right.
other words, his voltage of Krishna consciousness is so high, and he expected us to reach that bar. This is the bar I have for you. See, I want you to be employees of the store. I don't want you to be customers who get the Diwali coupon. You know, with the Diwali coupon, give you 50%. Employees get 90% off. I want you to be here. Don't be like all excited about 50% coupon once, for 1 month. You should be 24/7 employees. 365, you get 90% off. This is what I want you to do. Another trap of that line of thinking is that we could start becoming more hollow ritualistic. I'll just do these circles and I'll be done because I get 10,000 times. But if you don't do the hard work of connecting the heart, then you miss the point of Kartik, which is connect the heart, chant with affection, offer the lamp, but with awareness, with the prema. Deepen your practice, don't widen it. See, so those are the three conclusions I gave yesterday. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And this ritualistically doing the circles and not connecting, sometimes I feel like that with my japa. Like,
Sure.
8 good rounds in the morning, and then I'm like, oh my God, I've got 8 rounds left. I'll quickly do a japa walk. I'm thinking about what happened during the day. And that was really what started our relationship, that class you did. And it would be wrong for me not to ask you to just give us a few nuggets from that class, because I'm sure there are others on this call like me, um, that can chant inattentively just to get the 16 rounds done. And so, how, especially during this month, to start with, and hopefully take that forward, how do we get inspired by chanting 16 rounds and the stuff you said that, Krishna is there in front of you?
Yes, yes. So, of course, this particular workshop, we do it in the form of a retreat, and the full version of the retreat is 10 days long. All day, morning to evening. So you can imagine what we do. And we cover the four gates. That's all we do. So we talk about the four gates. There are four gates to perfect japa, very good quality japa. First gate is physical. You chant clearly, you sit properly, you wake up early. sit in a clean place. That in itself shows that you're interested in Krishna. The only thing we need to prove to Krishna is, I'm interested in you, my Lord, and I'm going to prove it to you. So our quality of chanting is our opportunity to prove to Krishna that we're interested. If you look at it that way, things change a lot. So you'll sit up properly. You know how you sit up for an interview for a good job, right? You sit differently for an interview than when you're just hanging out watching TV. It's different. Why? Because you want to prove that I want that job. We're asking Krishna, engage me in your service. In other words, I want that job. I want to be employed by you. You see, and it's hard to get into these big companies, and Krishna is the richest person. So like that. So physically, sit properly, chant clearly. That's the first gate. Second gate, with our mind and intelligence, understand constantly, who am I talking to? Who am I calling? This is Krishna. The whole philosophy around Krishna being same as his holy name, non-different, we should really, really understand it intellectually and mentally. You know, what exactly we're doing. That's the second gate. The third gate is our emotions. That now, my Lord, I'm in front of you, in front of your holy name, you're here, and I want to, my heart is yours, my feelings are yours. I want to express gratitude. I want to express my loving feelings. I don't have love, I don't, but I have gratitude. I'm thankful to you for everything you've done for me. I have appreciation. I have remorse for what I wasted. These are all very emotionally charged things we can offer to the Lord. I'm remorseful that I wasted so much time, you know. So we offer our emotions to Krishna. That's the third gate. And then the fourth gate is in Krishna's hands. It's a gate of His mercy. So we can wait at the third gate, at the fourth gate, knock on it. But the only thing that qualifies us to knock on it is that we went through the first three. We've given him everything we've got. Otherwise, we can't ask him for his mercy. We don't deserve to ask him for mercy if we haven't shown him that we're interested. So if you put these things in practice, of course, I gave you a 2-minute version of something that takes 10 days. We spent like a day and a half on each gate, really exploring it. Really, really. And then we chant 64 rounds between each session, to try to. So you can imagine how you'd be transformed at the end of that 10-day session. So these are some tips I could give. If you want expanded version, it's on my YouTube channel. I have 3-hour versions of it, 4-hour versions of what we call Japa Jumpstart, a quantum leap, and so on. I think Japa is so important that we need to really, really break it down and try to be better at it. And this is a good month. It's a good month to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, dear guests, if you've enjoyed listening to Madana-gopāla Prabhu, his website is pinned, madana-gopāla.com, so you can hear more of his lectures. Jyoti, if you can just put the School of Bhakti website on so everyone can click on and see our latest courses and up and coming retreats. There's 2 courses I want to plug. So every month we do a free Gita taster course in the Haveli. Details are on our website. And then to supplement that, Naveen Krishna Prabhu is doing a 3-week Gita course on 29th of November, starting 10 to 1. So that's our latest Gita course. It will help you find your inner Arjuna and help you apply Gita principles to your life. So please join us. And look, from all of us here at School of Bhakti and all the guests, thank you so much, Madana-gopāla Prabhu. Please accept my humble apologies for the technical difficulties at the start.
No, thank you. No, thank you so much. Yes, thank you. And I want to thank you, Shilen Prabhu, for being the personal friend of mine. And just, I really enjoy spending time with you, even though it's very short when I was there. And you've inspired me as well. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, I was so buzzing when you accepted our request to come on today. I know how busy you are, but you're so inspiring. And I don't think I've even known you for a month, but I feel like I've known you for years. And I know when I speak to Kirtika Mataji or other devotees like Trupti Mataji, we all feel very inspired by you. So please do come to London soon. And I guess I'll catch you in Nairobi next month.
Yes, we'll see you then. I'm very excited to see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Okay. My obeisance to all of you. Thank you for joining. We'll see you soon. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Vijay.